now we're going to create an application server domain. And I think yesterday, could you go to administer a domain?
Here?
One. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you see, there is this second domain, CS92U033. We started, we started creating that domain, but we did not configure it. So let's
Correct.
delete this domain and we'll start from scratch. So go one step back.
How do I still go back? Okay, like this?
Q. Q.
Three.
Yeah.
Q? Q
Yeah.
or
Q
three?
or 3 or anything. Anything. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, uh, oh, sorry. No, we have to delete a domain. So it would
Yeah.
be option 3.
Q, what? Three.
Yeah.
Two.
And select second. Yeah. Enter.
No, enter? Yes, is it?
So you've selected. Yeah.
No, I
Say
should
yes.
tell yes. Yeah. Enter. Deleted successfully. So if I just do
Yeah.
the admin domain, there should be only one.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Quit.
Yeah. So then just give me 1 minute. I'll
Okay.
go to another room and uh, here I think the network is a bit weak. So there's a
Okay.
lag. So I'll just switch.
Go.
Yeah, Chetan.
Okay.
So go to application server and
Correct.
create a domain.
So we use the same name?
Enter the domain name. Yeah.
CS
92U033.
92033.
Enter.
One.
Now select developer
Yeah. Okay.
and it will, load this menu. Now this is the summary of your configuration and there are some values that you can change directly from here. But if you want
Okay.
to go and have a look at all the configuration items, you can go to custom configuration, that is number 15. But for now, we will just configure everything from here. So I'll tell you what all these options are. So the first one, pub sub servers, it is related to your integration broker. So pub sub stands for publish and subscribe. So what this will do is it will start the server processes related to integration broker. If this is set yes, if it is no, it will skip those processes. Like it will not start the IB related processes. So on this domain, we don't need the IB related processes. We're just going to use this for testing and later we are going to delete it. So let's keep it no.
Okay.
Uh, the second one, quick server. So there are some queries like you want to check if the user's account is locked or not. Now that check is required on every login. Like does not matter who is logging in. This one SQL like select account log from OPRDFN table where OPR ID equal to this. So this SQL is going to be executed thousands of times and such SQL which take very less time but are executed more frequently will go to this quick server process. So there is one process called PSQCK SRV, which is responsible for executing these kind of SQLs. And why there is a separate process for that? Okay, let me share my screen. It would be easier for you to understand.
Okay. Yeah, I can see now.
So on the server processes, you have PSAP PSRV, which is responsible for all your online transactions. Say, let me change, or just assume that there is one process called PSQCKSRV. Let me write it down here. PSQCKSRV, quick serve. So
Mm.
what happens is the sequels which are executed by this server process can also be executed by PSAPP SRV. It's not a mandatory process. This quick SRV is not a mandatory process. If it is disabled, your PSAPP SRV is going to take care of those sequels. But what happens is, say you have many concurrent users and the queue is really long. This APP queue, the requests in this queue is like they're huge in number. So even those simple sequels, like if someone is trying to log in, even those simple sequels have to wait for their time. Like they have to wait in the queue till this process picks them up and executes against the database, and that will impact your user experience. Like even login will start taking more time. So for those kind of sequels, you have a dedicated process, quick serve, so that even if PSAPP SRB is busy handling long running sequels or more complicated transactions, the simple things can be taken care by quick SRB. That is the primary purpose of this process.
Mm. Okay.
Got it? But this is optional. Like if you don't enable this, your
Mm.
PSAPP SRB is going to take care of those sequels as well.
Okay. Only thing is if there are lots of traffic, then you need this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. If you want to, like, if you have capacity on your server and if you want to make the user experience better, you
Mm.
can enable this quick SRV. This will act as an advantage.
Mm.
Then
Okay.
we talked about this pub sub services, right? Pub
Yeah.
sub servers. Those are related to integration broker. So your uh, if you go here on the web server, you have this psigw.war,
Yeah.
which is your integration gateway.
Yeah.
So all your integrations which communicate through the web server,
Yeah.
these, like, gateway is just the entry point.
Yeah.
Eventually, the requests will be passed to your app server for business processing.
Okay.
So just like these server processes, you have dedicated processes for integration broker. Uh,
Okay.
those are called pub sub servers. So you'll have something like PS pub. Uh, I don't remember the exact name, but broker, PS sub broker, then PS pub handler, something like this.
So the
So these
three or
processes,
four processes.
yeah, like I think around six processes will start extra. Like there would be extra six processes if you enable this option,
Oh, okay.
right?
And
And
each
these are
process,
all integration broker related.
and each process would have a different role.
Sorry,
Each process within that sub
right,
servers will have different role.
right, right. So there is something called broker and there is something called handler. So
Yeah.
these processes will take care of your integration.
Okay.
Now there is a name for it. So on web server you have integration gateway, and on your application server, um, like the group of these processes, it is called integration engine.
Mm.
Let me name that here. Integration engine. So integration engine is on your application server. So the actual business processing or execution of your integration is done on the application server, but the entry point is your gateway on the web server.
Sure.
And let me go to PeopleWorks 8.61. So if you go to this section, integration broker, you will, one second. Yeah. Yeah. So this integration gateway, which is on your web server, looks something like this. So let
Mm.
me zoom out. So on your web server, you have something called gateway manager, and then you have different connectors. So depending on what kind of application your third party is, these connectors will take up the request. For example, your third party is a PeopleSoft application. So there is a dedicated connector for PeopleSoft for handling systems, PeopleSoft systems. If your third party system works on HTTP, like if they have shared an HTTP link with you, then HTTP connector will be used, something like that. And most used connectors are PeopleSoft and HTTP. There are more. This is not the full list actually. There would be, okay. So there are other connectors as well, and
So
these are the listening connectors.
what are connectors, by the way?
So just give me one second.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, come again.
So I said, what are list connectors? The connectors,
So connectors, like one
listening connect.
second. So
Okay.
listening connectors. So say on your web server, there is a gateway,
Yeah.
integration gateway. Your request comes in. Now, say this request was from a mail server, right, which uses
Okay.
SMTP protocol. Now, another request came, which is from a government agency, which is exposed via HTTP. So there is an HTTP request that has come on the gateway. Like you have shared your URL and they are hitting your URL. Now, this is non-PeopleSoft. This request is non-PeopleSoft. And there is third request which has come, which is from your internal system. Say PeopleSoft HR is sending you the request, like it is sending some user profile information or employee information to your system. Now, gateway is a common thing, and it should be able to, like, it should be capable of handling all kinds of requests. Now, you cannot write just one block of code and expect it to handle all these, uh, all kinds of requests. So this segregation of connectors is because you have different blocks of codes. Like you can say that there are different methods. So say there is a mail method which is dedicated to SMTP connections. There is PeopleSoft method which is dedicated to PeopleSoft connections. There is HTTP or web method which is dedicated to HTTP connections. So if HTTP request comes, then this block of code executes. If mail request comes, this block of code executes. So these are the connectors. Basically, some kind of a servlet, residing
Okay.
on your
All right. Okay.
web server. So we will see when we configure integration broker, you will
Okay.
be giving the PeopleSoft listening connectors URL. So
Okay.
your URL will end with this string, PeopleSoft listening connector. And this
Oh,
would be a servlet which is sitting on your web server. So
okay.
basically, there are some pieces of codes which are responsible for handling certain kind of requests. So there are listening connectors, and then there are target connectors, and there are gateway services. As in, say your message has gone to error, then it should write to a log file. It should insert in some table. All those kind of services are provided by your gateway. So you can look for the errors on your web server. Any gateway related errors will be written on your web server's file system. So
Mm,
error messaging and logging, message validation. So say the schema is matching or not. Say what you have provided. Say you have provided a web service in which you are expecting name. This is the name and then say ID.
yeah.
So there is a predefined schema of your message, and if the request that is coming, like if that matches your schema or not, that validation is also done at the gateway level, right? So message validation, XML parsing. If it is an invalid XML, it would be rejected at the gateway itself. Like it will not reach your application server at all, right? So connector management, IB objects. So all these functionalities are on your integration gateway, and this whole block, this is part of your web server, right? And this is the entry point for your integrations. Then
Mm,
comes integration engine, which sits on your application
application.
server.
Okay.
So that's
That's,
that's the actual that's the actual business processing. Like that's actual, like it is going to run the handler code. So what I mean by that is, say you have some integration, you have a web service.
mm,
Now you have provided that web service, and which is using HTTP. You have given the link to your third party integration, say http://psft.abc.com. Now, when they hit and say web service and say get employee or something, so say this is the endpoint that your third party is going to hit. It will come to your system. So this request was authorized or not. Like if I mean,
yeah.
so if someone is sending you a web service request, you will verify the token or some kind of username, password, like any authentication that you use or certificate that it has presented to you. So that is your authentication, and then it will check for the schema. It will uh, execute something inside. So say you have created one code, get employee, which is in your app designer, right? So you have configured this service in such a way that when someone hits this URL, in the background, this method gets executed. The
Yeah.
block of code which is written in this method gets executed. Now this
Mm,
the block of code which so the block of code which gets executed behind the web service is called handler.
mm,
So we are going to see this when we configure IB. We'll look at one sample service operation,
okay.
web service. So the code which gets executed behind the scenes is called handler. Like
Okay.
it will read the request body,
Yeah. Yeah.
validate something, do
Mm,
some business logic, like
yeah.
execute the code. all that stuff. So that is done on your application server.
Okay.
If you look at this diagram, so
Yeah.
we'll just go through this section: data handling, event handlers. Event handlers is in your the thing that we just talked about.
Yes.
Uh, yeah, the code which gets executed in the background. That is your
Okay.
event handler, right? So it could be a component interface, application class. There are different kinds of like people code which can be written in your application designer. And then comes the security. So we talked about authentication and all. So
Yeah.
that is done by application server.
Mm.
Integration broker events, then performance throttling. This is all too detailed. You will not be dealing with everything. Like this is the internal functioning of this integration engine. If you're
Yeah.
interested, you can go and read in
Sure.
detail. But I will tell you the log location and how to see an IB service, how to see the handler routings, all of that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So this resides on your application server.
Mm.
I also wanted to see uh, the one second application servers. Let me see if I find the server processes name for
Mm.
the, this. No, this does not cover. Yeah, it is here. The publish, subscribe, processing. These are the process names, server
Mm.
process names. So there are message dispatchers. So DSP stands for dispatcher, HND stands for handler,
Mm.
and there should be broker as well. I think it's not there, but dispatcher and handlers. And there are three types of dispatchers: message dispatcher, publication dispatcher, and subscription dispatcher,
Okay.
and three kinds of handlers. So these are the server processes which are related to your PubSub servers. So when
Okay.
you mark that PubSub server yes, these six extra processes will start.
You can see?
Yeah. So you
Okay.
can leave PubSub servers as no. Quick server also no. We don't want to overload our VM, so we are going to start bare minimum server processes.
Okay.
Jolt should be Jolt should always be yes, because we want our web server to connect. So
Yeah.
Jolt should be yes. Jolt relay can be no. WSL can be no. Like we are not going to connect any application designer in 3-tier mode, so WSL can be no. PC debugger, you can leave it yes, not a problem. Event notification you can disable. Eighth, press
So
8 and
type A
enter. Enter. Yeah, so it
and
will toggle the value.
okay.
So it has
A
marked it
A is
as
not
no.
disabled. Okay.
Right. MCF can be no. MCF stands for multi-channel framework. So it is used for push notifications, sending mails, and those kind of things.
Okay.
Perf collator can be disabled. Collator is used when you want to measure the performance of your system, and when you enable
Performance.
performance monitor, yeah,
Okay.
you have to enable this perf collator, but we don't need it right now. We can disable it. Analytics server, that can also be disabled. We are not going to use that.
Same for the same observability. Yeah.
Yeah.
For the
Uh,
monitoring. Okay. Domain gateway.
right. Yeah, that can be no. That's fine. Now,
Why we
coming
didn't
to
cover?
DB name.
Don't we have domain gateway? Or we don't.
Domains gateway, I'm not sure what that is on the application server,
Okay.
like what that option is for. Like
Mm.
usually don't touch it.
Okay. Understand.
So DB name, just verify the database name,
Yeah.
CS922U033.
Yeah.
Database type is Oracle. Now
Yeah.
19th, which is your user ID. So
Yeah.
that should be your PS. So press 19 and enter. Give the value PS, enter. Yeah.
20.
User password 20. and enter the password for PS.
So same as the CS thing, right? CS.
Right, right.